Failure. It's something no one likes to talk about, but it's often the unexpected catalyst for some of the greatest success stories in business. You've probably heard of these companies and may even use their products every day, but what you might not know is that they were born out of failure. That's right, setbacks didn't stop them, they actually propelled them to even greater heights. Today we're going to dive into 5 companies that didn't just bounce back, they completely redefined their industries after facing failure. Let's start with Slack. If you think Slack was always meant to be a messaging app, you'd be wrong. It was actually developed as an internal communication tool by Stuart Butterfield and his team while they were working on a video game called Glitch. But here's the kicker. Glitch completely bombed. The game failed, and it seemed like all hope was lost. However, the team noticed that their in-house communication tool was working really well, much better than the game itself. They decided to pivot, dropping the game and focusing entirely on this tool. And just like that, Slack was born. Today, millions of businesses around the world rely on Slack for team communication, and it's now worth billions. Not bad for something that started as a tool to support a failed game, right? Now let's talk about Twitter, or X. Believe it or not, long before Elon Musk renamed it X. Twitter's origins were actually in podcasting. It all started with a company called Odeo, founded by Evan Williams and Biz Stone. At the time, podcasting was a growing trend, but then Apple launched iTunes and completely dominated the space. Odeo couldn't compete, and the company looked like it was on its way out. So the team brainstormed ideas, and one of them, led by Jack Dorsey, came up with a simple way for people to post short, real-time updates about what they were doing. It wasn't glamorous, but it worked. That side project evolved into Twitter, a platform that now connects millions of people across the globe in real-time conversations. Twitter turned out to be a much bigger success than anyone at Odeo could have imagined. Next up, Instagram. This photo-sharing app is a social media giant today, but its journey started as something quite different. Originally, Instagram's founders, Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger, launched a cluttered app called Bourbon. It had check-ins, gaming elements, and photo sharing. Basically, it was trying to do way too much. It didn't take long for the founders to realize that users were only really interested in one thing, the photos. So they made the tough decision to strip everything else away and focus entirely on the photo-sharing feature. That decision? Pure gold. Instagram exploded in popularity, and within just 2 years, Facebook came knocking with a $1 billion acquisition offer. Today, Instagram is one of the most influential social media platforms in the world, all because they pivoted away from a cluttered app and focused on what really worked. Let's shift gears to Wrigley's, the name you probably associate with chewing gum. But it didn't start that way. Back in the late 1800s, William Wrigley Jr. wasn't in the gum business at all. He was selling soap and baking powder. So how did Wrigley's become a gum giant? It all started with a marketing giveaway. Wrigley used to include a free pack of gum with every purchase of soap or baking powder, and soon he realized that people were more excited about the free gum than the products he was actually trying to sell. Seizing the opportunity, Wrigley ditched the soap and baking powder altogether and focused solely on selling gum. The rest, as they say, is history. Today, Wrigley's is a multi-billion-dollar brand and the biggest name in chewing gum globally. Finally, let's talk about one of the biggest names in entertainment, Nintendo. You might know them as the creators of iconic video games like Mario and Zelda, but did you know they didn't start in video games? Nintendo was founded way back in 1889 as a playing card company. Over the years, they experimented with everything from running a taxi service to selling instant rice, but none of those ventures really took off. It wasn't until the 1970s that Nintendo made the switch to video games, and that's when things really started to click. Fast forward to today, and Nintendo is one of the most successful gaming companies in the world, producing some of the most beloved franchises in gaming history. Who would have guessed that a company that started making playing cards would end up revolutionizing the video game industry? So there you have it. 5 companies that didn't just survive failure, they embraced it and used it as a springboard to create something incredible. Whether it was a failed game, a doomed podcasting platform, or a soap business turned gum empire, these stories show us that failure isn't the end. In fact, sometimes it's the beginning of something even better. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about business, success, and the incredible journeys behind the brands we know today. Remember, failure isn't final, it's just part of the journey. Keep going. We are the Your Business Network. Please like and subscribe for business inspiration, encouragement, and information.